So let me reach out on Twitter, let some folks know. Getting that set up. Okay, so for my last stream, I said I would try to be better about streaming. I've committed to doing streams every Sunday, but I figure if I could sneak a bonus stream in every once in a while here and there, why not? So uh, I guess this is a special extra, not extra special, but just a bonus stream to get some work done, chat with folks. So tonight I will be working uh, on levels. You saw I kind of touched on this briefly the last stream. I had started making a few new tiling textures, and I thought that'd be well to see how well they work and to use them. I was going to retool some of the level pieces for the temple area. So I've just added some gold tile variants there across the bottom. Okay. So how the procedural generation works in Delver is there are two systems at play. One system is very similar to how Spelunky does it, where we have, you can see here, this is a 17 by 17 tile map, and these get kind of pieced together in a 5 by 5 grid of these maps. We can make them by hand, and also we can have the CPU generate them based on some hard-coded rules. So right now I'm working on the start areas. So when you load into a level, the starting point is always hand created. That way we can kind of guarantee the connectivity, and maybe I like to make sure that it's more visually interesting than the other pieces. So I think the last time we were here, I was working on kind of incorporating these giant stone skulls, stone heads that I had created a while back, but had not actually got them into game yet. So I was trying to find creative ways to kind of showcase them. I thought, heck, why not when you start? That they're usually kind of nearby. So here I have it so that the lava is kind of coming out of his mouth. It's just having the geo intersect. There's nothing really special going on there. And currently we have 6 start map pieces. So I've kind of started doing passes on them, kind of incorporating these. Also, you see the new gold textures. I'm kind of working those in too, seeing how I like them. I might tweak those later. Yep, this is another kind of example of where I just am using these kind of giant stone heads to kind of create some sort of backstory. I want some kind of weird. I don't know. I like this fascination with snakes and mouths for the temple. Was kind of this strange kind of uneasy theme. But you can see the mouth there, and then some of the little heads that get generated are kind of snake-like. Not sure where this guy really came from though. Okay. This is a third one. Again, kind of just trying to build interesting areas that when you start playing, you know, it's something to look at. Generally, starting areas do not have monsters. Sometimes they do have loot. I've been trying to be good about having all the lava that you could fall into, you can get out of. It looks like this lava is not like that. There's some weirdness going on, right? Like, what's this all about? Let me fix that real quick. Let's just put it up a little bit out of sight. So you can't really, so it's hard to tell what we're doing there. So maybe from this, yeah, from this angle, it looks a little bit more like, oh, this is actually coming from somewhere out of the level, not just like one tile deep. And then also this is just a little pit of death. Like if you fall into it, you can't get back out. So let's address that. So I can either fill it in, I can pull. Oh, I do want you to be able to get out of here, and that would probably be good on both sides. Here it looks like there was maybe some sort of thought going towards adding a way out. So let me just G to pick the textures for that, and maybe I can make a couple steps out of here. I forget exactly how high the max step is, but that seems to work okay. And this side is nothing but death. So let me. Can I, instead of completely erasing this, what I can do? Let me just do. Maybe I can make it look like actual cave geometry, so that way it kind of works a little better. Okay, so what I'm going to do is make it look like a stalactite, stalagmite thing going on. So I'm going to pull that there. I don't want to paint adjacent, so let me. There we go. Fix that real quick. So I want this to be high enough to serve as a step. So like that maybe. Like also pull this down because it's supposedly a natural feature. And then here I can do a similar thing where maybe that's like that and that's like that. So it's kind of this kind of angle. So it looks like, oh, maybe the rock broke off. And I'll go ahead and fill this in and kind of make it look like just kind of like this really is a stalagmite. Let me do something like that. Let's drag that over here, that there. Just kind of, I guess I have this little language that I've been kind of using when I created the caves to kind of indicate natural formations that I kind of just want to. I guess it's what I've been using, so that's what I'm sticking to. I'm just trying to. Okay, let me see if this was actually survivable now. Cool, and it looks a little, I mean, it looks natural, whereas this looks like a step. Why you would have steps down there, I don't know. But at least you can get out both sides, and it makes me feel a little bit better. I do feel like it's awfully cheap if you know there's just these death pits and you have no way of getting out. Um, so just kind of fixing those as I see them, and trying to add a little visual interest here. Let's see what that looks like. Looks okay. Maybe pull the rock down on either side of it, then you kind of make that work, I think. You can hit Shift F to flatten the ceiling, which is what I just did. You can also hit F to flatten the floor. So I'm just kind of did that to clean up a little bit. And just kind of just a little bit, just doing some cave detailing. It's kind of noodling, no real concrete plans. You can press Shift Enter to only paint and not actually carve out the space. So, oh hey, sorry, I'm totally in the zone. ManPat96 says, hey yo, so hello, thanks for checking out the stream. I kind of did a, not a secret stream, but just kind of, I had time to do it, so why not stream some Delver level design. And if folks have questions about making levels for Delver or anything Delver related, just feel free to pick my brain. Apologies if this is kind of late at night, and I know for folks in other locales this might not be ideal, but I had some free time, so just trying to make good use of it. Okay, I'm gonna try to imply that this goes back further than it does. Another thing you may notice is the cursor for Delve Edit actually, you have to aim at the grid at the 0Z axis. So if I try to select stuff up here, I can't. So you have to lower the cursor to where it would actually intersect the grid to get what you want. It's a little fiddly. You can, sometimes I'll come up to like a top-down view that makes the selection of the tiles a little bit easier. But I was just trying to fake out how the lava looks. It's a curious artifact. Okay, so what is that? That looks all right, I think, ish. Let me see, P to play. Cool. You can't really tell if it goes back, so let me show that off just a little bit by raising that up. And then maybe I drop this down a bit. Kind of cant this guy down. And again, I'm just trying to do my best to kind of fake these natural rock formations. Which is cool, you know. Delaware has been an excellent lesson in kind of working within the constraints of the engine that we have. And you know, you do kind of weird, funky, creative things that you might not do otherwise. So it's been a really, really cool experience. Ah, I see what's happening there. So interesting. So it looked like you have to be careful when placing lava, that even if you place the lava floor on solid tiles, it will still do some of this little fancy trim work. So you got to be careful how you do that. So let's see what this looks like. Looks okay. Break up that corner a little bit. It just looks a little too artificial. So carve it out. The KU022 Says, "Hey, hello. Thanks for stopping by, watching me make some Delver content. Uh, I'm working on creating some level start pieces for the level generator um, for the new temple area that I've been designing for a while now." So how's everybody's evening going, or day, or I guess whatever time it is wherever you're at? Okay, cool. I'm kind of faking rocky walls by just having floors and ceilings of different heights. This seems to work out. I mean, this is the best we can do, so I do it as much as I can. So now I can do a little pass on this other side. So I think this side's looking looking pretty interesting. Got some visual stuff going on here that folks might get into. So let me go over here and kind of give this the same treatment over here. Manpat says it's 2:30 p.m. here and it's going well. Glad to hear it. So I'm just trying to do the mental math. Where would it be 2:30 p.m.? So where are you located, if you don't mind me asking? You said you just had to install a shady Chrome extension to get Twitch to buffer properly. Huh. I didn't realize that Chrome had a problem with Twitch buffering, but I appreciate you making the extra effort to catch the stream. Uh, it's very cool of you. Oh, Australia, excellent. So it's already tomorrow. Exciting. Okay. Yeah. Make it pretty. So this would have to be above that for that to make sense, I think. Oh, interesting. So it looks like I have a Australia. So yeah, so I do have some Australian uh, co-workers, so I'm familiar with the shortening of Australia to Australia, which I guess is very similar to shortening America to Murica, I think. Get that down. Um, let's break up this back wall a little bit. No, I appreciate you guys tuning in and watching me develop stuff, even if your Twitch servers aren't, if they're not properly load balancing and you get a crappy stream. But I appreciate you bearing with that. Unfortunately, that is entirely out of my hands. I don't know. I'm still figuring out this whole streaming thing, so I just kind of click the go button and just roll with the punches. How's that looking? Better-ish. Still looks fairly artificial. Can I don't have much room to work. You have to be careful because any open spaces that you leave on the edge could potentially allow traversal between parts of the map you don't anticipate. So if you notice, right here I have a little 2-unit wide hallway that will be connected to whichever map piece gets placed here by the procedural generator. And if I also made this spot over here open, it would potentially connect depending upon what the geo looks like on the other side. Which I have done a little bit in the cave area, but it's just hard to predict. So you have to kind of set these little rules for yourself to follow when you're making these pieces. Okay. That's looking okay. I could just throw an entity generator, typical small head. There we go. One of those guys. Kind of snap them over here on the wall. Just kind of fancy up the place a little bit. It's kind of hard to see them. I guess it just depends on how the generator throws down the grass. You can potentially put them. Oh, that's all right, I guess. That's all right. The thing is, it's kind of killing me though is there's some spaces back here that are clearly I should be able to walk into, but I put a clipping volume there, so you can't. So I need to maybe justify why you can't. Let's see what it looks like if I just raise the floor. Does it look any better? I was cutting through space a little bit, but it's better than having those giant holes you should fall into, but you can't. Okay, well let's just see what that looks like. Okay. Let me see. So Hroger asks, are we going to be getting an update to Delver anytime soon? I certainly hope so. I'm working on getting this temple area to a playable point. I'd still like to do some more work on it, but we're trying to get out an update to you folks sooner rather than later. But I can't promise anything right now. I know there has been Chad is doing work on the back end. So there's not really a lot to report there other than we will have, I guess the SDK or the framework we're building on, we'll be able to migrate to the newest version of that. So that gives us some extra features, but I don't know if that's really gonna, I think the biggest thing that gives us is the ability to build out to iOS, which is rad. Okay. Bippo Ernesti, a lot of people on Steam seem to be worried the game's been abandoned. Yeah, a lot of people are worried, and rightly so. It's been a long time since we've had an update, and we've been pretty quiet about it. Personally, for me, my wife and I have had our first child which has basically meant that's what I've been doing this past year. So Delver has taken a back seat to supporting her and to raising my child. But he's gotten old enough now to a point where um, he sleeps more than a couple hours at a time, so I actually have time to work on Delver again. So I'm just streaming this so you folks can see that we're still working on it. Kroger says the first floor is still kind of horrendous. So are you referring to the dungeon area of the game? Uh, if so, what do you find horrendous about it? I do admit it is the first area that we ever built, so it probably is not as nice looking as the later levels, which is kind of an interesting problem folks run into, is that you start making levels, and the more time you spend with making levels, the better your tools get and the better you get. So you got to be careful not to. So basically, as you get deeper into the dungeon, the levels start looking better because I've gotten better at making them. So I need to go back and eventually redo some of the earlier levels simply because they're not as great, and that's people's first impression. So you gotta, I don't know, I always try to say within the first 15 minutes, you really have to have like some of the best stuff so people can see it and kind of understand what makes your game special. People said the people, or Heenbon says the people on Steam need a slap upside the head. I wouldn't say that. I certainly understand there have been a number of projects where the devs just completely go dark and abandon it and never tell the community that, and that's very frustrating. I just want to make sure that you guys know that we haven't abandoned it, that I'm dealing with a child and Chad is dealing with other life issues that are his own, but we are still working on Delver. It's just at a slow pace, and we do read the Steam forums. Oh man, and they are a scary place. But we do read them and we do take it to heart, which is why I am carving time out to do this stuff. So Harager says the sewers look and play fantastically, but the first floor dungeon has been kind of a mess. Hasn't looked great since the randomizer changes. Yeah, I'd love to redo the first floor. I kind of touched on this a little bit, but yeah, I'd love to go back at the very end and kind of do a pass on that just to make sure there's an even level of quality. I think there was an interview with John Romero, maybe, and he said they built some of the very first levels you play in Doom at the very end of the development cycle, which kind of uh, touches on what I was talking about, how by the time that you're ready to end a project is when you're most familiar with the tools and really good at making stuff for it. Uh, Himban says, you got called a moron by a reviewer by pointing to your dev blog post. And I appreciate you guys standing up for us. Uh, you don't have to do that. I mean, it's really kind that you do. And I don't want there's no reason to start fights. We haven't given up on the project, and I understand why people are upset. All I can do is just talk to you guys and continue to work hard, and hopefully more people see that than the negative folks. A little pressure is okay. Roger said he didn't want to pressure me or be harsh, but yeah, no, a little pressure from the community is great. It helps motivate us, keep us going. Okay, I've just been running around this level, talking to you guys, so I needed to, let me go ahead and save this tile out, because I think I have it to an okay spot. Let's open up a new one. There we go. This one. Oh man, this tile is basic. You can see that a lot of times we just get very, very bare minimum stuff in here, just to have some variety. And I want to dress this up a little bit. So I'll kind of talk to my process of making this look more interesting. So what's interesting, what's important is the procedural generator knows that this is a starting piece, and it assumes that this part of the map right here is going to be open, so it can connect it to other pieces. So whatever I do, I have to make sure to leave this part open so it can connect. Um, oh no, Hroger is saying he doesn't want to come off as rude, and no, I don't think anyone is coming off as rude. I think people come off as concerned, and I understand that. But I appreciate your concern. So with the map editor, an interesting feature you can do is you can hit Shift G, and that will run the procedural generator on this, and you can just do it as many times as you want, and this will just crank out start tiles. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit this until I find something that I think is a good starting place for me, and then I'm going to modify it to make it more interesting. Okay, this has an interesting layout. Um, yep, that's connected. That's cool. It does have a couple enemies in the start. That's wait, no, so it's not. Oh wait, these just straight random tiles. It's not a start tile. So let me right click and remove. Because I don't particularly like enemies at a starting point for the map. Um, so I tend to kind of uh, load them up towards the ending piece of a map. But right here, I want to have a kind of a safe place for you to start at. Okay. Blah, 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 just deleting some decals. I think I need to tweak that part of the generator because I don't need this many decals. So that's from the last stream. I was showing people how to create prefab and add it to the room builder. Okay. Let me. This kind of this little jag is interesting. What if I can I double down on that? Can I? Let me see. How do I? What if I started carving out some of this stuff? So do it like that. So lower that down. It's too far. Pull back up. Cool. And I want this to kind of swing back around the other way to kind of force you to choose left or right. I think these options can make gameplay a little bit more interesting. Yeah, because I hate it when it's very linear. So I try to provide multiple pathways through any particular section. So hopefully when you combine these, the resulting gameplay is interesting. Okay, let me just block in what I think this might look like. So like that. Then that. That. Okay, so I want to make like a left and right fork. Wow, the ceiling's pretty low. Just going to pull that up a bit. I just kind of very roughly just grab a big chunk here and just raise the whole. This is probably not great, but it gives me some space to work with. So this is what it looks like when you're coming in. Have a left option. Probably got rid of that. Let me find out where this monster marker is. Yep, missed a marker. Move marker. So, have a left and right option. Kind of cool. Okay, where does this side go over here? I could connect it through to that. So let's just connect that. The floor doesn't exactly line up. Okay. Left, right. This window peeking in is kind of cool. I wonder if I could do something like maybe put a piece of loot there to kind of get people to kind of investigate that area. So let's do loot. Okay. So I think, yeah, there's a scroll there now. That's cool. We got a little window there. Go this way. Yep, there's our scroll. This way needs some refining. So this way connects out that way. We don't want it to do that per se. Let me just close that out. Because this is a start area, so I need to be really careful about um, how things connect. So let me just do a real quick walling this in a touch. Uh, Manpat96 says the editor looks like it'd be a lot of fun to play with. You can. Um, I'll show you how to do that right now. What you can do is if you fire up Steam, any day Steam. Sorry, this is not ideal. Let me just jump to it directly. But if you browse local content in Steam, um, if you browse local content, this will take you to, let me just double check to make sure I'm actually telling you the right way to do it. But library, then go to Delver, right click, properties, local files, browse local files, and this delve edit.jar, you can actually run that, and that is the editor. I think if you have Java installed, you can just double click it, and it should run. Let me make sure that's correct. Yep. So we do give you all the tools that we use to make the game. Comes with the game. So again, that's you right click on Delver, properties, local files, browse local files, and it's this delve edit.jar. You can double click that, and that is the editor that I'm using. I just happen to be using the one directly out of source code, but we ship what we use, so there's no real difference. Bippo and Ernesti says, I tried the editor a couple times, but couldn't think of anything creative. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, that's the thing is having, and especially when we give you a blank canvas is super intimidating, which is why for this particular tile, I generated a bunch, and I'm just editing an existing one, so that way I don't have to start from scratch. If you look at my YouTube channel, I do have an older video of me building a tile from scratch, and you can see what I kind of blocked out what I thought it should look like, and then kind of built it from there. So there's more than one way to do it, but this is how I'm doing it this particular time. That's an interesting piece of geo. Let me just make this fancy by raising up this so it's above. We got this kind of cool effect there. Fancy. Death pit. And clear. Again, I'm just cleaning up the edge of the map so we don't get um, uh, connections to other pieces of the map that we don't anticipate. mean, sometimes those happy accidents are okay, but I don't want it particularly in this case. Um, so I want to kind of have this middle area kind of be uh, where the entrance and exit of the level is. Um, it's good to kind of really signpost these so people don't get lost. So I might make some kind of like a raised platform in the middle that has the stair back up. Oh, Manpet says he doesn't even have the game. Didn't know it was on Steam. Yes, I'm fairly confident we do have a Linux build. Um, Let me just look at the the store page because I know we have PC, Mac, Android. I'm pretty sure we do Linux as well. I guess I'm not smart enough to see where it says. Yeah, but yeah, we're in early access. It's $7.99 if you want to support us. But I mean, make sure that we do have a Linux build before you plop down your money because I don't want to sell you something that you can't even play because that would be terrible. Oh, thank you. Himon is confirming that he runs Linux and that the game runs well on that. So that's awesome. Yeah, I run both a Windows machine and a Mac just to cover those bases. And I think Chad primarily develops on a Mac, and he has a couple of Android devices that we deploy builds to just for some sanity checks. Okay, so you come in here. Um, got the central room here, which is kind of cool. This is where the entrance exit should be. I want it to be in the middle. It's kind of hard to do. Yeah, I can make it happen because it needs to be like a 3x3 for it to be perfectly centered. So let's do 1, 2. Ugh. So carve that. Carve that. I guess I goofed that down. Should be. There we go. Okay. Oh, the floor and the ceiling is getting all wonky. Let me fill that in, carve that out. There we go. Start from scratch. Lower that down. Okay. And then I wanted let's do a 3x3 thing. Pull this up. Be able to get on top of it. It's not too high. Pull that up. I'm going to add a marker for stairs up. Ceiling, I'm going to place that so you know that you can leave. I'm going to pull this down a little bit so you can actually reach it. Okay, so it looks like clipped in the geometry. There we go. Look, that's okay. Got this little room you start in. Come out here, lava pit. You should be able to see the exit there. That needs to be fixed. Let's go this way. Cool. Kind of boring. Kind of narrow. It's okay, I guess, because it's not the only way. It's over here. Still. no reason to go back here. Why would I incentivize people to go back there? Do I care? Let's fix this the stairs over here. So let's just lower all this, lower that. And this tiny little sliver of trim bugs me, so I can just drop that down there. That works out okay. Let me pull that up. And then maybe this one a touch. Maybe the top of the gold trim there. Is that passable? Yep, that works. Okay. Let me just. Oh, Bippo Ernesti says he'd love to watch more, but the buffering is making it almost impossible. Don't worry. I will post the uh, the video on demand to my YouTube channel after this is over. If you want to catch the whole thing again at a better quality. Gotta fix that because it's bothering me. Okay, stairs, stairs, stairs. There's a death pit there that you can't get out of. Let's just do. Let's add a ladder because why not? Where do they live? We have so many entities that navigating them can be a little tricky. It's not a mover, not clutter, not furniture, it's not an area. And certainly we have it. Really? Really? Okay, I can do place entity generator. I can do a stone head. Actually, let me do this outside the level so it's a little bit easier. So let me place him here. Because I know I use a ladder inside here. And I can grab this and I can ungroup it. And now it's just a bunch of different objects. So there's a bunch of collision meshes. And I sneakily hit a ladder on the back side of it. So this is that's what I want. Delete that. Delete, delete, delete. All these collision meshes I don't need anymore. Clean that up. That collision mesh. All I really wanted was this ladder. And it is one high. There we go. Now I can add a little ladder to get out of the little pit of death. Take care. I'll stick this smack dab in the middle so it's pretty easy to see. I just hate it when things are cheap and you die. And there's nothing you could really I hate it when you die and you couldn't tell it was coming, and there's nothing you can do about it when it happens. Even though, even though a wooden ladder going down into here doesn't make a terrible amount of sense. We should get back out. Cool. The lighting on it looks strange, but I'm just not worried too much about that. Um, okay, got these head statue guys. I can kind of use this to obscure. Turn that. I can kind of slide here. Now sometimes the rendering on the groups is a bit weird, so if you quickly toggle lights on and off, um, you'll see them pop into the correct place. I'm going to try to dress this up a little bit so it looks like it's like a damaged wall that you can kind of peek through. That's cool. Yeah, so it does block you from going through, but you can still get a little sneak peek, which is cool. You know, you don't. Yeah, that doesn't look so bad, especially with the lighting back there. It looks interesting. So maybe it's better to. I think I always like to imply a much larger space than there actually is because it is a fairly small game, to be honest with you. I could probably do the same thing back here to block off this whole back area just to make it look mysterious, but we'll know there's nothing really back there. So let's do that same trick right here. So, um, yeah, let's grab those textures and place them there. Okay, cool. And now I'm just going to quickly grab both of these guys and alt drag them to I'll drag to copy, shift drag to keep them in the XY plane, and control to snap them. So I get those where I want them. How does that look? It looks okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and make them flush with the floor. And if you can tell that they don't go all the way to the top, that's probably forgivable. Let me see what it looks like. Here, I'll just lower the ceiling and not worry about it. I could duplicate the meshes, but just lower the ceiling. But there we go. And pull that down like that. Perfect. So now we have this kind of cool back area that we're hinting at, but you can't really get to. You do have to keep in mind um, you do have to keep in mind that people can teleport, and that makes things a little tricky. But I'm pretty sure we have a way to block out volume so you can't teleport into them. So I think I'm similarly going to block this over here as well. Maybe I'll make it so instead of having these fake these fake crumbling walls you can peek through, because if I did that on all three sides that'd be kind of boring. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have it on this side that maybe this walkway here is crumbling into the lava so that you can't actually traverse it. So let me start working on that. Just kind of pull this down flush with everything else. Okay, now let me grab this chunk and nope, 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 sorry. Grab this and lower it, this and really lower it, this and take it down farther. This needs to go down like that. And kind of maybe imply this is all broken and janky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start just kind of grabbing these and bending the edges down a little bit. So you can tell that the original builders probably didn't build it like this, but this is where we're at now. It's all gross and broken. I'm trying to make it so that you can't get across to the other side, which I definitely need to keep in mind. So maybe lower this way down. People do all kinds of crazy things like potion jumping. So let me just entirely remove these two right here. Okay. Let's see. I hope you can't make that jump. There's no jumping in Delver, so you shouldn't be able to make it over there. But you should be able to make it back out. So let me make sure I do enable that scenario. So lower that. It's cool. Okay. Interesting. I'll talk to Chad and see why Steam doesn't show us as having Linux support, because we really ought to. Because like I said, we do have it on the Humble store. Okay, so some of these further one down, I don't even want to have like the floor tiles on. I want to just have like rubble. So let's change the floor to. Do I have rubble? Joshua. Let's quickly just crank out a rubble tile. So let's save our work. This is number 4. Let's pop over to Photoshop. And I need rubble, which kind of looks like that. So let's use that as a base. Okay. Whoa. Okay, so let's remove those gold pieces. Where's my cursor? Did my Wacom die? No, my tablet died. The driver's flaky for some odd reason. I have a really old Wacom tablet, so I'll do it with a mouse because I'm sure watching me fiddle with my drivers for 10 minutes is not exactly a great streaming experience. So I'm just going to try to block in where these rubble pieces should be. Not, I mean, it is rubble, so it doesn't have to be super accurate. Just kind of just implying shapes. Yeah, unfortunately, I do not. I don't know too much about getting it onto Steam. That's kind of Chad. He handles a lot of the business side of things. Um, though I guess we just got the email today that we were invited to go to Steam Developer Days, which is very exciting. We went to the first one a couple years ago, and it was a lot of fun. And it's really cool to actually meet the Valve folks that are like account reps and to talk to other developers. And it was a good time. Um, yeah, there's some really good talks. I think that was back before VR came out, and now there's an even larger emphasis on VR now that Valve has the Vive. Okay, just making rubble. Yeah, this one's a little too regular. I'm gonna break that guy up. Cut it in half. Let's see, yeah, it's looking all right. Um, I guess that's looking okay. It might be usable. Let me just go ahead and not worry too much about it. Let me save it out. Let me fire back up the editor and just play with it and see what it actually looks like in game. So I was working on start piece number 4, if I recall correctly. Let me see. I thought I saved it. Oh no! What happened? Did I save it as the wrong one? 5? 3? Oh man, that is upsetting. It looks like I lost my progress. I wonder why that is. That is very strange. Let me look at my changes. It does say that I did make changes to start 4. Huh. Uh, why you hurt my heart? Oh, do I have multiple instances of the? Is that messing it up? Oh wow, that is unfortunate. It looks like I hadn't saved it before I closed it. I mean, I have some changes saved, so let's just go ahead. Wait, yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. I just I'm spazzing for some odd reason. I guess. Yeah, I didn't lose any work. Okay, good. Let's go ahead and add these to the floor there. These rubble textures we just created, and also you gotta be careful. There's a little tick mark or this tick box here that says paint adjacent. Sometimes you want to do that, sometimes you don't. So let's do that and see. Looks okay. Intellisense. also, let me, so I can also add this as the lower wall texture to kind of sell. So that way you look at it from the side, you can tell definitely this is all kind of messed up. Yeah, so maybe here's a case where I want to use paint adjacent, so I can select this here. And I could turn paint adjacent back on, hit shift enter to paint, and so I paint the inside of this with the broken texture, but I still leave this gold trim area out here, which is probably correct. Let me see what that looks like in game. It's kind of this broken. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. I'm gonna slope this guy a little bit more this way, and slope this guy. Sometimes the selections can be tricky, so you gotta manipulate the camera to get the result you want. And pull that back up. And I'm just gonna kind of pull that down to really imply that it's all kind of messed up and broken. So play, make sure this is traversable. If you fall down here, you're hosed. Thanks. Yeah, so let's. How do I fix that without adding a whole bunch of geo? Let me see. Can I grab these 4? And I'm just going to move them down a touch as a unit. Okay, is that still, does that fix my problem and make it worse? Okay, you can kind of scramble back out, which is the intention. And then I can kind of, even to help further assist this, I can pull this down just a touch, and then I can move these 2 down. So I was going for a little bit more of a dynamic look, but I don't want to get players into spots where they can't get back out of. Up. Okay, cool. And this is all broken off. Grody. Okay. Let me see if I can. Yeah, let me just try to sell that by breaking these pieces too. Just kind of pulling them down. I don't want them actually to be traversable, but I want you to at least believe that they're broken. So it's not paint adjacent, so take that off. And then grab those, paint them. So we have this broken rubble, but I want maybe this top guy to still have his stair piece. So there we go. Cool. So that works. So basically I'm just trying to fake so like you can, here's the start, and like there's this cool area you can kind of peek through back here, and you can kind of peek through back here. I really want to get back there because I'm inquisitive, but then get back here, and can't. What if I reward somebody for jumping in the lava? Maybe right there, put a ladder. I'll hint at it so you can look across and see the ladder peeking up. So if you have a little bit more health than I did there, you might be able to survive that. Let's see what that's like. Okay. I'm holding down control to make sure all my snaps are working well. Again, I'm like something a little particular because this is a pixel game, a pixel art game, and I like I try to keep it as consistent as possible. It's not perfect, but I try to keep everything the same texel ratio. Again, not perfect, but I try. Okay, that should work. It should be enough. And so I'm standing here. So is that ladder too much of a giveaway, or is that ladder just enough giveaway? And then is it can I get to it? Oh, okay. So what about then I eat food and then I make a run for it? It has to be possible. One more time. One more time. I think I can eat food and get back there. Ah! I got it. I got it. Yep. Yep. Nice. Nice. Okay. So now that they've gotten back here, I need to actually reward their terribly foolish behavior, um, and maybe provide a way to get back uh, easily. So um, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to lower this so you can actually jump over the top. Maybe that wouldn't make sense next to these pieces though. How about here? That may work. Okay. So again, you can kind of see through there, which I think is cool. You can kind of see out in there, like, ooh, it's spooky. Like, I can kind of confirm, oh, there's that there. So I seem to make a nice little. I guess I'm just going crazy with ladders in this one particular level. And maybe can I add a little ramp, maybe, to get up there? Make it more rubbly, so it looks like it actually is just a natural, like just a just because this part uh, just naturally happened when the this part of the wall fell out. That this rubble pile appeared here, and you can use it to clamber up. So I think I like that little bit of fiction. Uh, mm, mm, okay. So I'm gonna lower this a touch. Cant it that way. Cant that up. Cant this side up. So I want it to look like it is broken, so I have to make these a little bit uneven. But I'll make sure you can still pop through there. Yeah, cool. Okay. I can just lower this whole thing a bit, lower that a bit. Okay, let's see. Cool, so that makes it, that kind of solves some problems. So you can hit T to spin stuff, so I'm just kind of going to turn these textures so get a little bit more mileage out of them. There we go, so it doesn't look quite so uniform. You can do the same thing here, like I can just go T, just quickly drop my cursor over areas. You don't have to make a selection, you can just put your cursor over these floor tiles, and you can quickly just spin them so they don't look so samey. Now this only does work for floor and ceiling tiles. You can't spin wall tiles. So I've been streaming for about a little over an hour now. Hopefully folks are liking what you see. If there are any particular questions or anything you'd like to see me work on, please do let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to keep just working on these level pieces. Go. I got to the ladder. Okay, let me try that again. Let me try that again. I think I can just barely catch the edge. There we go. Yep, there we are. Yeah, that's another thing too, is when Chad and I tune a lot of the stuff in Delver, we try to make sure that it is a possible feat for a first level character. That you're not required to level up to power your way through the game. That a skilled player should be able to do any given task, and that goes for any of the monsters or traps. Um, Leveling certainly makes things a bit easier, but you shouldn't. It shouldn't be a requirement. Okay, so I have this area back here. Let's make some cool stuff for the player. Maybe I can tease it so that if you look through there, you see like, oh, there is something back there. In fact, also you get back that way pretty easy too. So by peeking through there, you should be able to see whatever it is I'm going to stick back here. So let's maybe extend this. Pull that up. Now, sometimes the generator these has these they create floor and ceiling heights that aren't quite what you can create in the editor. So if you notice, like I can't get this quite to line up with this piece right here. Like I can go a touch below. If you flip over here, I'm a touch above for some odd reason. So that's why I just flattened out that chunk so you can kind of see what I'm doing there. I mean, it's okay. It's just something you got to live with the Delver editor. So I'm going to maybe recess this. Chad's been using it as a theme, and I think it's kind of cool to recess these pieces. So recess this, recess that, and drop a loop marker on it and see what that looks like. Marker loop. Okay. So here, P. So you can see there's definitely something there, but it's low. I'm going to raise it up so you can actually see the darn thing. And maybe I'll change. We'll just make it fancy gold. So it's like super obvious that there is something back there. Okay, might be a little high. Let me just drop that down. There we go, it looks okay. Cool. Okay, so you can get back there. That's just a single piece of loot though, and there's no guarantee that it's going to be good. I can. I'll drop maybe another loot there, Put some decor there and decor pile here. Can't see that thing over there though, so it doesn't really entice you. I mean, there's procedurals. Let me try that again. Yeah, you can't always. You can see. You can generally see that there is something back there. Maybe that's enough to lure people back. Just knowing that there is one thing back there. Hey Ibram, how are you? Um, yeah, there's some Z fighting. So what's happening? Yeah, I mean, I guess the easy way to fix that is just to move it a skosh, and so that they can't be. There we go. Because these particular models are selected from a random set. So every time I start, you notice they're in a different configuration. So what I did there because I had snapped a grid, there was some Z fighting going on in the case where I picked the same model. So what I did is I just gently moved one over a little bit, enough so that the geometry doesn't perfectly align, so you don't get the weird flickering, which is right for him to point out. So let me go ahead and fix that. So I'll probably have similar Z fighting issues over here as well. So a little up and a little back. Cool, that should work. Bond is asking, will we ever be able to sell items? Um, oh, you mean sell like the in-game items to a merchant? Uh, no, we never really planned on that. I would like to add some system for you to make use of junk items, but I don't know if we really want to be able to sell items you found. Um, we're trying to keep it pretty light, but there's no classes. The stats are pretty lightweight. We want to have it be a pretty short playtime, but have a lot of procedural depth to it. Okay, so that should fix the Z fighting issues I had there. Yeah, another thing I've been doing to kind of signpost these these start areas is adding more gold. If you notice the previous ones I've been working on, there was simply just more gold everywhere. So let's just gold this baby up. Yeah, no, heme bond is correct. It's not randomly positioned. I just have a number of models that have their origins are different. Well, relative to the origin, the models are in different places, so the wall appears to shift a little bit as we pick different models for it. But they have the same collision mesh, so effectively we treat them as the same piece basically. Okay, so working on engoldifying everything. Okay, looks interesting, but very deadly. That needs fixing because that looks bad. What do I do there? Let's just fill her in. Ish. Let me do lower simple. I'm thinking maybe doing a quick cave pass on this just to make it look more natural, more interesting. Ibram is saying he has to leave, so thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you checking it out. Hopefully I'll chat with you in the future, and maybe you'll stop by another stream of mine. Take care. Sorry, I'm kind of zoning out here as I'm getting into the just make caves mode. Again, if there's any particular questions you folks have, feel free to ask. I'll do my best to answer. I'll try to be better about narrating what I'm doing. I'm here just trying to, again, breaking up these kind of perfectly created corners. If you look at this one, you can tell this is pretty artificial. It's just a, two planes meeting. Looks like a room, looks like a man-made room. But by kind of raising and lowering the ceiling and floor here, I create this artificial, uh, somewhat cavey looking area, which I think is more visually interesting. Not realistic, but prettier to look at. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing over here. Maybe I will kind of take these here and then make them so they're almost walkable. So really lower these guys down. Yeah, I guess the one thing I do love about the Delver engine is it's like instant gratification. I can just hit P to play my level, so I can make sure that level geometry isn't going to obstruct the player, and there's no compile time. It's just hit P to play, and it's instant feedback, which is pretty cool. It allows me to have a very tight loop when making these level pieces. And it's always it's always very beneficial to be able to quickly iterate and improve upon your designs. So, cool. So this looks better. I'm going to make it look like the rocks and yeah, let's do it. Like the rocks intruding a little bit. I don't know if it makes sense, but I think it'll look cool. Maybe these aren't naturally formed. Maybe they are. Who knows? There we go. There we go. Cool. So that's more interesting looking. Okay. Again, I'm just trying to make sure that I everything the player can see. I'm trying to make sure it looks cool. And the stuff they can't really see, I'm not putting as much time into. So this little area, you do something with it. I have been putting the big stone heads in each of these start areas too, so I would feel remiss if I didn't put one in this area. So if I'm running out of space back here, I was going to hide him away as an Easter egg kind of thing. Maybe I could kind of, he's huge. Let me just place him and see where he will actually fit. Generator, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was really excited to make an asset this big, and it took me a long while to pixel him, but actually making proper use of him in the level is proving a bit challenging. Um, can I just have him sticking out the wall over here, maybe? Old collision box just hanging out right there. Okay, there we go. If I just poke his head out of the wall, what does that look like? Okay, does it look interesting, or is it just like, eh? Yeah, there's another thing with the Delver engine is the mesh models. Um, the lighting isn't per vertex. The lighting is based on the origin of the model. So having this guy in a well-lit area sometimes isn't the best idea. I'm not gonna try to force it. I'll get rid of it. You know, maybe it's not really working here. Okay, let's give this side of the level some love. Again, just kind of, I guess, gonna do some cave detailing stuff here on the rock wall. So let's just do that. Okay, let's see. It's looking all right. Feeling a little more interested. Not sure about what to do with that. For that is a death pit. Having some death pits okay? Yes, no, maybe. Um, I I don't like death pits. This is a death pit too. Uh, Conundrum. I guess I must have to live with them for the time being. Let me go ahead and save my progress. Okay, let's do something different. I've been silent for too long. I don't want to bore you guys to sleep. Textures. What else can I work on here? I created the rubble texture. Let me just do a quick pass on the stuff I've already created to make sure that I can't use that somewhere else. So open. Let's look at these again. Is there any reasonable place I could use that? Hmm, nah. Okay. Let's open the second one here. Nope, not really broken up either. Let's look at the third one. Open. Okay. Again, similarly, there's no broken stuff. I'm tempted to say, should I add broken stuff? I can repurpose this right here. I could. Does it make sense? Let me just see what it looks like. Make the floor that broken texture and the lower wall that broken texture. Does this make sense? Does it look okay? I guess so. It looks like it's. I mean, it looks like what it is. Yeah, cool. Get some use out of that guy. Turn these textures so you can't. It's not super obvious what I'm doing. Okay, save that. I think that was the third one. Let me just double check that. Okay, let's actually see what these look like in action. So I need to close that. I need to update. Let me see. I've changed. Starts 3 and 4. So those need to be updated in the procedural generator. So generator undead starts 3 and 4. Let's put those in the generator data file, which is just a zip file. Paste it there. Yep. Yep. Let's actually play some Delver. Okay. Okay. I like to start with a fresh dungeon, even though I think the procedural generation still gets called correctly. And I'm just going to use some debug stuff to jump down, and let's look at the new temple area and how it's shaping up. And I guess I'll just talk through what I like and what I don't like. And also, because my character hasn't leveled up, this is going to be super lethal, so I may have to do this a couple times. Alright, Runes 1. Okay. Is this... Yeah, this is one of the newer ones. I think it looks cool. The fog is kind of... I'm liking it. Ooh, oh, see, this was talking about here how this this particular area was open at the back, and we're actually getting through to the part of the map that we might not have intended for the player to get through, but that's okay. Happy accidents. And I think there's this little area back here you can kind of work your way around to. This long slope doesn't really fit the rest of the level kind of language, because here we have a lot of steps. But back here we have a sloping long ramp, so I want fix that. This is cool. You kind of see this stuff. There's your reward. There's your little thing. I should be able to not take too much damage. It's probably somewhat forgiving there. Okay. So this is actually the primary way to go is actually out this direction. Also, these rocks here, they should be climbable. Yep, you can get out. That's good. Can I get stuck? Can I get to places I'm not supposed to get? Okay. Let's sally forth. See what's out here. It's a lot of torches in one spot. Which I think is why the lighting looks a little strange there. Okay. Cool. Let's go down and look at the next start. Okay, this is not one of the ones I've gotten around to yet, but it's not bad. I don't like the really deep lava because that's obviously super. That is a death sentence, right? There's no way you're coming back out of that. I don't think we actually put kill triggers down there, so if you fall, you're stuck. Let me do it. Yeah, it doesn't instantly kill you, so you are permanently trapped down here. Potentially, you could use a teleport scroll if you were thinking fast to get out of that. But the teleport scrolls are fairly rare. So it is kind of a death sentence, and I'm not super thrilled with that. So we have a new guy popping in. Lenny4500 says, "This looks good." Thank you. This is a game called Delver. It is an early access game on Steam. We are a two-man team working on this in our free time. I am I would say lead artist, but the truth is I'm the only artist working on this. I also do a lot of the content creation, so I do a lot of the level design, item design. Anything you can see, I've touched. And again, I'm just diving down to look at the starts that we've been working on. Yep, this is another one we've been kind of tweaking a little bit. It's the one with the true faces, which is I think is pretty cool. The cave geo looks good. It doesn't look terribly. This part looks that part could use some improvement. What else? It's all looking okay. I'm not gonna lose too much sleep over it. Unfortunately, these decals we added the last stream session, I'm not really feeling. Can you get a trigger it? Step on it. There we go. Come on, dummy, do it again. Nope. Nope, you're not gonna step on the trap again? Okay, well, I tried. Okay. Before I die, let's go down to the next level, look at start, and see if that is looking like I want it to. Again, because of the procedural generation, this is not one of the levels I was hoping for. Even though this one also looks cool. I like this little section back here with these vaulted roofs that maybe I should have more vaulted roofs in these simple areas. I think it looks cool. So maybe I should try doing more of that. Again, I'm just going to roll the procedural generation dice and see what I get, and just kind of review the starts again. wait one.